Welcome to the Militia Gaming community. I'm Trigger, and today we are going deep.
That's what she said.
In the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Let's go. Real quick before I get into the video, I just want to remind everyone that if you have any questions about this video, you can just Google it. No, how did that get in the... Okay, never mind. Anyways, you can just jump into my stream every Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific time right here on YouTube. All right, so there's been a lot of hype surrounding this newly added Aventador SVJ, mostly because Uncle Theo decided to make a video on it. But if you don't know how to earn it, it's pretty easy. You must be participating in the festival playlist each week because you need to earn 200 points in Series 2, and we're already in the last week of the series. If you haven't been participating and you're looking to pick one up, it's going to cost you 20 million at the auction. And even if you have a cool extra 20 milli burning a hole in your pocket, you still might not be able to get one because they sell almost instantly. That being said, the purpose of this video is to figure out if this car is even worth your time and your fat stacks. Is your FOMO real? Are you going to lose sleep at night thinking about your past mistakes? Why didn't you grind the festival playlist? All of your friends have an SVJ and now you just have this regular busted Aventador. Hold on, let's build an SVJ and see what it's capable of before we go all Michael Jordan on this. First, we need to take a look at the powertrain options. That's engine, drivetrain, and aspiration. The SVJ does not feature any engine swaps, only a rear-wheel drive swap option. Swap option. That's pretty crazy. That should be one word, swap option. And a twin turbo upgrade. So, to decide how to build it, we need math. There are 4 possible ways to start our build: all-wheel drive, no turbos; rear-wheel drive, no turbos; all-wheel drive, twin turbos; rear-wheel drive, twin turbos. And with that, I introduce to you my 5 powertrain metrics: power to weight ratio, power to PI rating, handling to PI rating, average stat value to PI rating. So those are the 5 metrics I use to judge which build is going to give us the best performing car. Simply put, the higher the numbers in each of those categories, the better the car performs. And I've highlighted in green the highest value in each metric for easy viewing. The stock setup is only best at handling and isn't great anywhere else. The rear-wheel drive with no turbos is not really good anywhere, so that's out. And the rear-wheel drive twin turbo setup has the highest power to weight ratio, but the worst handling, so that one's out. Which leaves us with the all-wheel drive twin turbo powertrain setup. It has the most power for its PI rating, which means we can add more upgrade parts. It also has the highest stat average and the highest stats for its PI rating. Again, lets you add more parts. If we build it, they will download it. Now fast forward to the fully built state and let's look at those numbers again. 43% power to weight ratio once it's built. That is very high. This thing should be insanely fast. 136% power to PI rating, again, super high. A full 1% for handling per PI rating, which is only possible if the handling stat is 10. Its average stat is 9.02. And to find this number, you can just add the 6 main stats together and then divide by 6. A 9.02 average stat means that with the stat numbers it has, it's basically the same thing as having a 9.02 on all of the 6 stats that you can see. It's absolutely incredible. And lastly, it has an average stat to PI ratio of 0.9. Again, the only way for it to be a full 1% is if it had all 10s on all 6 stats, which it doesn't. This SVJ looks to be a contender for one of the fastest cars in the S2 998 class, and even more so when you compare that to the Sesto Elemento, which is a car we all know to be fast and have great handling. The SVJ is better or the same in every single metric. I mean, take a look at their stat matrix. No, not that matrix. These matrices. Matrices? Matrices. It's got an edge by an entire point on the speed department and everything else is right around the same. Also note it has more than double the amount of horsepower as the Sesto. So, let's drive it and see what's up. I tested both Lamborghini Panawagons on the Horizon Mexico circuit, and the Sesto, despite its obvious statistical disadvantages, outperformed the SVJ by 0.8 of a second on its fastest lap. And then I remembered that the Sesto weighs 1,100 pounds less and was tuned by the Forza team. It is a Forza Edition car, but the tune I have on the SVJ feels really good, and 0.8 of a second isn't really that terrible. Driving skill will definitely make up that 0.8 in PvP races with drivers that are not as good as you. But what if the drivers are of equal value? Well, then the Sesto will win every time. Alright, enough of the numbers. Let's look at the car mastery skill tree. It's got some good ones. Triple pass, speed skill, and near miss scores are all increased. These are really good for grinding skill points, so it definitely has some value there as well. Alright, Judgment Day. Is the Aventador SVJ worth hunting? My answer, yes. It's definitely a competitive car, although maybe not the fastest or the best handling. It feels really good to drive and seems to be a bit more stable than the Sesto. Numbers wise, it's one of the best I've seen for a 998 build, and it's also one of the best looking Lamborghinis in the game. Super wide and super aggressive. On top of that, it will most likely be one of the most collectible cars in the game because it can't be earned any other way after this series closes, unless they release it later in the auto show or bring it back as a series reward. If you have an extra 20 mil laying around and you didn't play the festival playlist all series, then I'd recommend trying to pick one up at the auction. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Please comment which car or cars you'd like to see a deep dive on for future videos just like this. I'll be sure to take a look at the most popular cars in the comments. Shout out to all the Militia subs. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.